Welcome to the Wednesday, May 2nd Board of Education meeting. We are now reconvening from the public meeting that started at 6 o'clock. We made a motion to go into executive session from 6 to 7 to discuss a personnel issue. PIG students, you are required to stay till 9 o'clock, or if the meeting gets out earlier, you can leave at that time. Just make sure you sign the sheets at the front of the table or get your board agenda signed if your teacher would like that. If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Introductions.
Dave Hurst.
Holly Dellenbaugh.
Meredith Moriarty.
Charmaine Regisinger.
Jody Monroe.
Christine Beck.
Lynn Lenhart.
Michael Cooper.
Jonathan Fishbein.
Judy Kehoe.
At this time, it's recommended, can I get a motion to approve the board minutes from the April 25th, 2018 Board of Education meeting?
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Do we have a representative of the Student Senate here tonight? No, okay. Now for the superintendent's report.
Thank you. So I have two recognitions for Board of Education members who have attended some of the NYSSBA School Board U training. The training recognizes extensive time and effort for school board members who strive to continually expand their governance knowledge and skills. So Mr. Fishbein, you've received a certificate for 75 points, and Ms. Beck, you have one for 150 points. So you get these nice little certificates. Okay, and next we have many of our winter athletes here who excelled beyond the regular season. So Mr. Keys is here, and we'd like to recognize them. We're finally starting spring, it feels like today. So congratulations to our athletes, and I'll let Mr. Keys begin.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and I want to welcome our student athletes, their friends and family. At the end of every season, we always take a few minutes just to honor special accomplishments, achievements, and special teams. And as you can see with the crowd we have before us tonight, we have quite a group tonight. First piece we would like to talk about real quickly, though, is every year, every season, the New York State Public High School Athletic Association honors special teams that have a cumulative academic average of a 90 plus. And Bethlehem always does a wonderful job in this area. We had 4 winter teams that achieved this distinction: girls basketball, boys indoor track and field, girls indoor track and field, and boys swim and dive. So an outstanding accomplishment. With that, I'd like to start bringing forward our athletes. First, representing our girls bowling team, we had 2 young ladies who did an outstanding job, Melanie Lemke and Sierra Glass. Girls, come on up and join us. These young ladies were coached by Candy Raderman and represented Section 2 in the state championships. Congratulations. The next group of athletes we would like to honor are our outstanding boys swim and dive team. Our boys were coached by Coach Bill Durgasit, so I'd like to congratulate Coach and start bringing up our young men. First, Joey Chiarella. Come on up, Joey. Joey was a state meet participant in the 200 free, where he was 10th in the state. He represented us in the states in the 100 fly, the 200 relay, and the 400 relay. Next, John Janeski. John was a state qualifier in the 200 medley relay. Next up, Max Kabak. Max was a state meet participant in the 200 medley relay and the 400 free relay. Congratulations. Colin Leonard. Colin also a state qualifier in the 200 medley relay. John Maloney. Also, a state championship qualifier in the 200 and the 400 free relays. Jason Wu. Jason, a state qualifier in the 200 medley relay and the 200 free relay. And finally, senior Brendan Cartwright. Brendan, section champion in the 100. Congratulations. State meet participant in the 200 free, where he was 6th in the state, the 100 free, 4th in the state, the 200 free relay, the 400 free relay, and he will be continuing his swimming career next year at Arizona State University. So congratulations, Brendan. It's like a team picture. Congratulations. Next up, we had a varsity gymnast who also qualified for the state championships, coached by Julie Bouchard. I'd like us to welcome Allison Gray. Allison qualified for both the vault and was an alternate on floor and bars. Indoor track and field, coached by Darnell Douglas. Again, an outstanding winter. Lots of young men to recognize tonight. First up, Riley Grossman. Riley was the section champion in the 3,200 meter and was a part of the 4x8, represented Bethlehem at the state meet. Congratulations, Riley. Next up, Nancy represented Bethlehem at the New York State meet in the 55-meter dash and the 300-meter dash. Matt Cavallari. Matt also represented Bethlehem at the state championships in the 1600 and was also a member of that 4x800 meter relay. Cameron Davis, another section champion and another member of that 4x800 meter relay team. Henry Manley, also part of that section championship winning 4x800. Kyle Cully, section champion, part of that 4x800 meter relay. Jack Huber. Jack represented Bethlehem also as a state qualifier in the 1,000 and was a member of the 4x800. Andrew Stein. Andrew was the section champion in the weight throw as well as a state qualifier in the weight throw. Wanted to mention that Riley, Matt, Jack, and Kyle also finished 4th in the state during the state championship. So congratulations, gentlemen. And it was a school record. Thank you. Congratulations. And for our final group, this is a historic ice hockey team in Bethlehem Central athletic history. The first Section 2 champions, they were the regional finalists. They were the Del Vecchio Cup winners for being undefeated in Section 2, and I could go on and on. It was a tremendously exciting year, and I'd like to welcome the team. First off, I don't want to forget our coaching staff. Times Union Coach of the Year, head coach Dylan Lappy, assisted by Kevin Shannon and Ryan O'Connell. Coach Shannon just came off the lacrosse field about 20 minutes before. All right, first I want to welcome up our three brothers, Matt, Mike, and William Bevenou. Come on up. They just got back from Saratoga and winning. Good job at Saratoga. Good job at Saratoga tonight. Alex Briner. Patrick Kavanaugh. Justin Chanelli. Mason De La Salas. Anthony Dennison. Pat Engelbride. Eric Fisher. Cooper Hewison. Nathaniel Husar. Braden Jones. Henry Copland. Dylan Kowalski. Mike Krajolek. Ben Levine. Heikki Levelsalmi. Thomas Liebold. Ethan Mash. Avery Miller. Luke Rowe. Jordan Scarlett. And Jonathan Thibodeau. Congratulations, gentlemen. There were many accolades for this team. Thomas Liebold was the League Player of the Year, the leading goal scorer in the section, and the TU Hockey Athlete of the Year. Alex Briner was the first-team TU goaltender. Justin Chinelli was also a first-team All-Star. Pat Engelbride was a second-team All-Star. Mike Bevenu, a second-team All-Star, and Dylan Kowalski, a second-team All-Star. So once again, congratulations.
This on? All right. All right, can you guys be quiet, please? So, on behalf of the Bethlehem hockey team, we'd like to thank especially Mr. Keys and the Board of Education as well as the community for being there nonstop throughout our year and helping us to win a Section 2 title. Without any of these people up here and you guys in the stands every night cheering, no way this happens. So we'd like to thank you, and we have a picture of all of us signed to display at the school for Mr. Keys, so there you go. So, thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Keys, and congratulations to all of our winter athletes. Thank you. That concludes my superintendent's report.
You're all welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting.
Especially seniors who have been here already. Give it a second to.
We can all move up to the front row.
Up next is the Board of Education report. Does anybody?
I have two things. One, NISBA came out with this school safety reference guide. I don't know whether everybody got that email with it. I printed it out. It's not that many pages, but it really is a very accurate description of the terminology that's used for school safety teams and what the requirements are under the law. And I just think, it's a helpful guide for everyone, because I know we've been talking about the school safety, but it's very concise and informative. So it was emailed out to everybody today. I don't have a color printer.
Okay.
It's in color if you have that.
When did it come out, Lynn?
Just today.
Today.
okay.
Today. So I'm just saying it really is worthwhile. And then there's also May 17th at 2030. I don't know whether I mentioned that. Students who are in kindergarten today are the class of 2030. So again, like with the strategic planning, looking to that, well, we're looking at 2025, but
Yeah.
looking to the future of, what school might be like then, and well, having that thought in mind of what we might be doing at that point. And I think the commissioner is going to be part of it, and Bill Daggett, who's done a lot of, that type of work on futurism. So it's a half a day, and it's free up at NISBA headquarters. So it's next Thursday, or week from Thursday.
Yeah, I think I
May
saw, I think I
17th.
have a conflict, but I'm sure it'll be good.
But it's only half a day, too, which is,
Yeah.
makes it a little bit easier.
Great, thank you for that information. Anybody else?
Many of us were able to attend the chamber dinner last Thursday where Lynn was honored as Citizen of the Year. And it was a wonderful event, and she was very eloquent in her remarks and well-deserved accolades.
Oh, thank you.
It was a very nice event.
And it was lovely to see how many former board members were in attendance also, so.
It was nice. She was recognized for Citizen of the Year award for 30 years on the school board, and I always forget, Jim Cambridge? Who was the one?
Jim Canebrick.
Canebrick. He was the
MC.
host, and he recognized you with comments throughout your career. So it was very nice and very touching, and your speech was really great. So.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I have one thing. I think the track team is starting to see the benefit of the new structure as 2 records went down this Saturday. The boys 4x200 relay team of Grant Namovitz, Nanzi, Jason Rapazzo, and Ryan Zigrosa set a new school record. And the girls 4x2 with Kate Kusaris, Molly Moore, Rebecca Litzau, and Leah Soares also set a new school record. And one was just set in Colony, but it's unofficial. So
Okay,
just,
great.
I can report on track only because I'm there, but I also know that I look forward to Mr. Keys coming back and honoring other spring athletes. But as I said, track records are starting to come down.
Will the timing be all right to be able to do that in June for the spring athletes?
Hopefully.
We try to
Seasons go really
Yeah.
long
No.
once you start getting to suburbans and sections and.
On the same night Lynn was being honored, some of us were able to get to the concert that was held here, which was really very nice. It was well put together and well done.
Yes, I enjoyed that as well. I rushed from there to
I know,
here,
yeah,
and it was,
appreciate it.
but I'm glad I got to go see both because I have a son in orchestra, so it worked out. The timing of everything worked out really well. So,
Well, that was good.
and today at Proctor's we had our high school musical nominations, and Bethlehem received 6 nominations for nominees. We had 4 students nominated either for Best Actor or Supporting Actor Actress, and we were nominated for Best Orchestra and Best Tech. So,
Is that for high
congratulations.
school and middle school or just for high school?
No, it's just high school. I think it's roughly 26 high schools participated this year in the High School Musical Awards, and they can pick 5 for Best Musical, and there's a lot of different things that go into a tiering, how big the school is and things along those lines. But I mean, we had a really nice representation, and we definitely got a lot of nominations compared to some of the other schools, so it was a great moment. So that was it. Anybody else for, all right. Up next is Judy Kehoe talking about the 2018-19 school budget hearing.
So I read this first, then I do this, and then I do this.
Right, let her do the presentation. The board really shouldn't have questions because we already approved the budget, so we go right after the presentation. Motion. Yeah.
This is the suspenseful part. It's coming. All the commotion. Okay, this is really just a quick recap before we go to the public hearing on the budget, and it will be old news to you who have been through every single presentation that we've had on the budget since January. But since you adopted the budget, what we'll show you tonight has all of the final totals flowed through to the different areas. And it's a good recap. That'll match the figures that will be coming out in the budget highlights that will be hitting everybody's mail soon, within the next week. So. We've been going around to different events, PTO meetings and Booster Club meetings, anybody that will have us, Jody,
And some who-
Dave.
Some who won't.
Have they been well?
And the
have
last
the
minute
PTA
ones.
Have they been well attended,
We're
the
at
PTA
odds.
meetings?
I
Somewhat.
suppose for a PTA meeting, well attended, yeah, about maybe a dozen people, 15 people
Yeah.
or so. So
I have
I'm
a
very
couple more next
engaged
week,
and
and I think Brittany did put that on the schedule.
Right,
Is-
there-
You want to hop in?
I think there were 3 listed.
Yeah. And Judy's going to lab school Monday night.
Thank you for
Anyone wants to go?
graciously accepting that last minute.
Oh, I could talk about budget all the live long day, so happy to go.
That's appreciated.
It's a brief presentation.
That's a
Judy.
brief, yes, but
It is, it is. Here we go. Go Brittany. Are you just going to hand that right back over, or you have to plug in or something? Okay. Okay, here we go. So, we have balanced the budget. We're at $98.79 million in revenues and expenditures. We were pleased to have the extra $161,000 in state aid, and the adopted budget includes a levy increase of 2.4%, which is well below the tax cap. We had a number of changes in the instructional program, some additions. We had a few minor reductions in staffing, either due to enrollment changes and the need to lower some of the sectioning sizes, or we were able to not fill a position when we had some teacher retirements, again, based on section sizes. I won't go through each of these changes, but again, you can read the slides, and remember, this information is all available on the district's webpage as well. Okay, for the high school, net reduction of 85,000. Special ed had a net increase of 140, and that was primarily a buffer to allow for changes in student needs during the year. And there were a number of reclassifications this year where we shifted from the special ed program into the instructional program to better meet the overall program needs. And we did add back the late bus runs at the middle school and the high school on Friday. So now it'll run Tuesday through Friday. So our budget-to-budget increase is at 1.72%. And as I noted, that tax cap limit is at 3.95%. So because we are well below that, the budget will be approved by the voters if we have 50% plus one, a simple majority on the vote. And as you can see, the bulk of it, close to 2/3 of the budget, is in property taxes, with about 30% coming from state aid. Our budget-to-budget percentage increases, you can see we've been certainly single digits. We really try to rein in the growth of the budget. And we've been fortunate with some of the retirements that we've had. We've been able to get some savings on breakage, and so that, even if we have increases in our pension costs, has allowed us to keep our increases relatively low. Our tax levy trends as well, in each of the last 6 years, we have been at or below the tax cap. And although the cap is a little bit higher this year, based on the changes that we had in the budget, we really didn't need to go anywhere near that 3.95%. Again, coming in at the proposed 2.4%. Based on shifts in the assessed values within the town of Bethlehem and the town of New Scotland is actually going to see a decrease in their tax rates based on the information that we have now from the assessors. They had a slight reduction in their equalization rate, but Bethlehem had a larger reduction in the equalization rate. So in fact, New Scotland will go down about 1.27%, and based on that shift between the two communities and how that levy is apportioned, that coupled with the increase in the overall assessed values within Bethlehem, they will not see a 2.4% increase. Their effective rate should be somewhere around 1.78%. The final numbers will not be released by the town of Bethlehem and the town of New Scotland until July. So that will be leading up to the August meeting when those rates are officially set and adopted by the board. And we do have the tax calculator available on our webpage once again. That's a handy little tool for people if they want to put in their own property's assessed value, and then it will quickly calculate, excluding library taxes, excluding any exemptions, but it'll show you what your taxes were with the rates last year and based on the projected rates for this coming year. The New York State Property Tax Relief Credit Program is still in effect in New York State. They've changed some of the limits for this coming year, but because our budget is within the tax cap limitations, that means that eligible residents will be able to have this rebate check coming to them from the state. It is indexed as a percentage of a taxpayer's adjusted gross income. The more you earn, the lower your percentage is. And those percentages, whatever applies to your particular income bracket, gets applied to the star amounts for each community. So if you are eligible, earning less than $275,000, you should see a check coming your way from the New York State Tax Department in the fall. This is just a quick recap of our state aid. As you can see, almost $13 million is from foundation aid, and the other aid are expense reimbursement-based aids driven by the amount we spend in the first year and then reimbursed in the subsequent year. This slide breaks out the total of $98.7 million broken out by the different areas within the budget, and you can see the vast majority of those expenditures are going towards the instructional programs, including both general and special ed, and then about $11 million going to transportation services, and then the maintenance and cleaning and utility costs associated with running each of the school buildings. Fringe benefits is, of course, a large chunk of that at almost $24 million, and then debt service coming in at about $12 million is how the money is spent within the budget. This breaks it out by type of expense. So as expected, because most of what we do provide services, about 50% of the budget is salaries, and then another 24% in FICA, Medicare, and all of the other fringe benefits that are associated with us being an employer. But coming in at only a 1.72% budget-to-budget increase, that also was well below the inflation. That factor was 2.13%, so to come in lower than that is also a positive for the community. This just graphically shows you that same information. Here's the details on the fringe benefits. The vast majority of our costs are going to our health and dental insurance costs. And then the second highest category is for our mandated pension costs to the teachers' retirement system and the employees' retirement system. But overall, under a 5% increase, so not shocking. We've had worse years, certainly, in other years. Okay. Debt service payments, relatively constant from one year to the next. We always update our multi-year budget forecast. Again, we're doing this so that we can make sure that we're looking ahead to make sure that there aren't any issues on the horizon that we should be anticipating now. And with the various assumptions that we use, trending on state aid, trending on property tax increases, and then actual projected expenditures based on contracts that are in place and the typical averages that we see for an increase from one year to the next, we are structurally balanced. Those gaps that are noted on the bottom are very slight. Again, it's close to a $100 million budget, so something like this we should be able to accommodate without any great difficulty going forward. Our fund balance information, recall that this was a new disclosure that we had to submit as part of the property tax report card that the board adopted a few meetings ago. And this is just designed to show people exactly what the restricted components of our fund balance are and then how much that we have that is unrestricted or undesignated. and we are in a healthy range. We're just under 4% for our unrestricted component. That's taken as a percentage of next year's budget, and that gives us our reserve for the unexpected. It gives us cash flow and helps us maintain a decent credit rating as we prepare to go to market for the capital bonds once our project gets approved. And capital outlay is included in the budget. We do need to disclose this to our citizens. If the budget passes, this funding is included within that budget and we can proceed. These are mini capital projects limited to no more than $100,000, and then it gets reimbursed to us in the subsequent year based on our building aid percentage of about 66%. And then also appearing as a separate proposition on the ballot will be seeking authorization to purchase 15 replacement buses so that we can retire some of the oldest buses in the fleet. 6 of the large buses, these are 66-passenger buses, 3 small Suburbans, and then 6 of the 30-passenger buses. So again, because it's a capital expenditure, we cannot make this purchase unless the community approves that. If it is passed, it does not affect the debt service totals that are within this year's budget as presented. Okay. And there are 2 seats up on the Board of Education. As noted, Lynn is retiring after 30 years and Charmaine after 9 years. So for those 2 seats, the incoming board members will have terms expiring in 2021. We have 1 candidate who has turned in his petition, who is here this evening, Christian Meyer. He will be appearing on the ballot, printed on the actual ballot. And then because there are 2 seats open, there are also 2 boxes for write-in candidates. And whoever, either printed or written in, has the top votes, the 2 highest vote getters will be those who will be seated on the board July 1st, assuming they meet the qualifications and assuming they accept said vote of the community. So it'll be a very exciting election day. This is just a quick recap. Again, all this information is up on our webpage. We have detail, expenditure information, all of the presentations that have been made, as well as videos and slideshows. And we encourage, if anybody has any questions, certainly to reach out to us in the interim. And we look forward to hopefully seeing everybody, a good turnout on Election Day.
And absentee ballots are available on, applications
Yes.
are available on the website.
Yes. So absentee ballots are available, and as long as they're turned in by 5 o'clock on Election Day, they will be counted for this vote. And that is the quick recap, and now
Okay.
time for the public hearing.
Can I have a motion to open to a public hearing regarding the school budget? Okay, tonight we are holding the public hearing on our proposed budget as required by law. The notice of this hearing was published in the Spotlight, and a copy of the proof of publication will be included within the official minutes. At this time, I invite any members of the public to speak who wish to offer up comments either for or against on the proposed budget. I ask that you please state your name for the record prior to offering your remarks. Is there anyone here who would like to speak on the school budget? Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
No?
I thought we voted on it.
No, we didn't.
Oh, okay.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. At this time, we'd like to recognize any visitors that are here on an agenda item.
Well, wait a minute. No, I have to close the public hearing.
Oh, okay.
If nobody's going to speak. Okay, I move that we close the public hearing.
Second. First, second. Was that a first, Lynn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second, all right.
Thank you. All right, at this time, we'd like
All in
to.
favor?
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Okay. All right, at this time, we'd like to recognize any visitors here that are on an agenda item. Okay. Item number 8, finance. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the following finance actions. Item 1.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Item number 9, professional personnel. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the following professional personnel action items 1 through 8.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. On number 3, the technology integration coach, there are a number, I believe, faculty members listed. What do those folks do? I think I know, but I just want to explain.
So they provide professional development for the faculty. Many times it's before school, after school, or they'll actually, during their free periods, push into classrooms. They'll hold lunch sessions. But their sole purpose is to provide professional development for faculty on technology integration into the classroom, not, fixing printers and things of that nature.
So do they hold like sort of general group sessions, but also can push into individual classes?
It's a variety. So they'll do, sometimes they'll do morning sessions before the students arrive. They'll do after-school sessions. They've done lunch sessions. They've pushed into classrooms. Yeah, it's very flexible.
Okay. And on number 4, the boot camp people, Summit Technology Boot Camp, who are the presenters for that? Are they internal people or external people?
Internal. So last year, we had about a dozen teachers present at that, and we had close to 100 teachers attend.
Okay, great, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Other action items, it is recommended that the Board of Education approve the following action items 1 through 5.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
These are the policies, right, that's included in this?
Yes.
Yeah, it's number
Just the
4.
policy committee, thank you for the track changes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. At this time, we'd like to recognize any visitors on a non-agenda item. Okay. Future meetings and events. On Tuesday, May 15th, we have our annual school district budget vote. Starts at 7 a.m. and the polls run through 9 p.m. On Wednesday, May 16th, we have a normal Board of Education meeting. Executive session starts at 6. Board meeting at 7. This is at the middle school library. Thursday, May 24th, we have our 2018 retirement reception. Wednesday, June 6th, we have our next board meeting. And Wednesday, June 20th, we have another board meeting at the high school LMC. Executive session at 6, board meeting at 7. And we have our graduation for the class of 2018, Friday, June 22nd, and it's at the TU Center. So it's been moved from the SEFCU Arena to the TU Center for the first time.
Christine, before you close the meeting, I have one more thing.
Sure.
I forgot where it was, and we were kind of going fast, so I couldn't keep track. I just want to really appreciate the food service department for, again, coming in the black. Yeah, I couldn't figure out which part it was. But just to appreciate it, because historically, that department had been working to get to the place that it is now is, so just want to appreciate that.
And that is projected, of course.
Okay. Yes. I was surprised by the numbers, actually.
Yeah, they're good.
So I'm sorry, thank you.
No, that's fine. At this time, we have no need to go back into executive session. Could I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. There you go, I picked a good one. You're done. Oopsie. No. I know.